Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture of the course Heat Transfer. So, in the last couple of lectures, we have discussed the convection mode of heat transfer, and there basically we have discussed different terminology and different concepts, different important topics of the fluid mechanics. So, in the last lecture, we have discussed the momentum equation of the hydrodynamic boundary layer over a flat plate, and there we have seen different value of the boundary layer thickness and the skin friction coefficient corresponding to different velocity distribution, and we have discussed different numericals based on those formula. Now these were the equations or the concepts of the velocity boundary layer. Today we will discuss the thermal boundary layer. Okay, so let us start the lecture. So as in case of velocity boundary layer, we have seen the difference of the velocity or the velocity gradient exists, which leads to the formation of the boundary layer thickness. Now similar to that, in case of the thermal boundary layer, there will be a temperature field or the temperature gradient or the temperature difference, which will lead to the thermal boundary layer thickness. Now what is this thermal boundary layer actually? So when a flow of fluid it takes place past a heated or cold surface, then in that case a temperature field is set up in the field next to the surface. If the surface of the plate, if it is hotter than the fluid, so if the our considered surface if of the plate, if it is hotter than the flowing fluid, the free stream velocity of the fluid, in that case the temperature distribution it can be represented like the figure number 7.6. This is the temperature distribution profile. Now the zone or this layer where the temperature field exists, this is called the thermal boundary layer. So it will depend upon the hotness or coldness of the stationary plate and compared to the temperature of the flowing fluid. So in this diagram 7.6 we can see that the thermal boundary layer formed during the flow of cold fluid over a warm plate. So here the our considered plate surface it is warm or hotter, and the fluid which is flowing it is cooler or colder compared to the considered plate. So in that case the temperature distribution it is given here inside the boundary layer, inside the thermal boundary layer. Now in this thermal boundary layer, the boundary layer thickness, its notation is delta TH. This TH represents the thermal. So in case of the velocity boundary layer, we have seen the boundary layer thickness, its notation was only delta. But in case of the thermal boundary layer, the boundary layer thickness notation it is delta TH. So it can be defined as the distance y from the plate surface at which the Ts minus T divided by Ts minus T alpha, this is equals to 0.99. So this is the concept of the thermal boundary layer thickness formula. Ts minus T divided by Ts minus T alpha, this is equal to 0.99 at a distance the y direction, that is normal to this plate surface. Now in this figure 7.7 you can see that thermal boundary layer formed flow of warm fluid over a cool plate. So this is just the opposite of the consideration in the figure number 7.6. There the plate was warm and the fluid which was flowing over the plate it was cooler. Now in the 7.6 the plate is cooler, but the fluid which is flowing over the plate, it is warm compared to the plate. Now in that case, this type of parabolic distribution for the thermal boundary layer. So this is the shape of the thermal boundary layer when the free stream temperature it is above the plate surface temperature. Now the thermal boundary layer concept, it is like analogous to the hydrodynamic boundary layer which we have discussed earlier. The parameters which affect their growth are however different. So whereas the velocity profile of the hydrodynamic boundary layer, it depends mainly on the fluid viscosity. The temperature profile of the thermal boundary layer, it depends upon the viscosity, velocity of flow, specific heat and thermal conductivity of the fluid. So the temperature profile in case of this thermal boundary layer, it depends upon 4 different parameters. In case of the hydrodynamic boundary layer, the velocity profile, it was dependent on only one parameter, that is viscosity, but in case of this thermal boundary layer, its temperature profile, it is mainly dependent on 4 different parameters which are viscosity, flow velocity, specific heat and thermal conductivity of the fluid. Now the relative magnitude of delta and delta TH, which are velocity boundary layer thickness and thermal boundary layer thickness, these are affected by the thermophysical properties of the fluid. Now here the governing parameter, it is the Prandtl number. So the significance of the Prandtl number, it was discussed in one of the earlier classes, and we have seen that the formula for the Prandtl number, it was mu Cp divided by K. Now when this value of the Prandtl number equals to 1, then it has been seen that the thickness of the thermal boundary layer, it is equals to the thickness of the hydrodynamic boundary layer. Next, when the Prandtl number it is greater than 1, then it is seen that the thermal boundary layer thickness, its value is less than the hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness. And when the value of the Prandtl number is less than 1, in that case it is seen that the thermal boundary layer thickness, it is greater than the hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness. So there is one more relation in between this thermal boundary layer thickness and hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness, which is thermal boundary layer thickness, this is equals to hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness divided by Prandtl number to the power 1/3. So this formula, it will be also required to solve the numericals. So the relation in between the thermal boundary layer and hydrodynamic boundary layer, it is thermal boundary layer, this is equals to hydrodynamic boundary layer divided by Prandtl number to the power 1/3. So let us move to the next page. So this is the energy equation of thermal boundary layer over a flat plate. So earlier we have discussed the momentum equation in case of the hydrodynamic boundary layer over a flat plate. So today we will be discussing the energy equation of thermal boundary layer over a flat plate. So here we can see that in case of diagram 7.8a, it is showing that a hot fluid is flowing over a cool flat plate, and development of the thermal boundary layer, it is shown here. Now in order to derive this energy equation, we have considered that a control volume dx dy multiplied by the unit depth in the boundary layer, so that the end effects are neglected. Now the enlarged view or zoomed in view of this elemental control volume, it is given in the 7.8b, where you can see in its two different surfaces, maybe in the left face and on the right face, or it may be in the top and bottom face. So for all these different faces, the variation of its velocity, this can be seen here. So here also you can see the energy which is entering and leaving this control volume. Now based on this control volume, all our discussions, it will be performed here. So involving the principle of conservation of energy for the steady state condition, we can write that the heat energy convected, it is E convection, through the control volume in x and y direction, plus heat energy conducted, that is E conduction, through the control volume in x and y direction, plus heat generated due to fluid friction in the control volume, this is equals to 0. So this is the principle of conservation of energy for the steady state condition, which we have considered here. But as the rate of temperature change in the x direction, it is small and it can be neglected, the conservation of energy becomes, in that case, if we consider that the temperature change in the x direction is small, in that case the heat energy convected in x and y direction plus heat energy conducted in y direction plus viscous heat generation, this is equals to 0. So that means ultimately the equation we are getting is dE convection x plus dE convection y plus dE conduction y plus viscous heat generation, this is equals to 0. So 4 different terms we are getting in the left hand side of this equation. Now for these 4 different terms we need to first formulate their equations. The first term is the energy convected in the x direction, dE convection x. So E convection x, this is equals to mass into specific heat into temperature. So the formula can be written as rho u dy into Cpt. Now E convection x plus dx. So this can be represented as rho u plus del u del x into dx into dy multiplied by Cp into T plus del T del x into dx. So if we neglect the product of the small quantities, then ultimately after 2 steps we will be getting rho Cp dy multiplied by ut plus u del T del x into dx plus T del u del x into dx. Now the net energy convected in the x direction, that means in between the 2 different surfaces of the control volume, E convection x minus E convection x plus dx. So these values of the convection in between the 2 surfaces have already been calculated here, the earlier steps. Now if we put all this value here, all these equations here, then ultimately we are getting the energy convected in the x direction, this is equals to minus rho Cp into u del T del x plus T del u del x to dx dy. So this is our equation number 7.4, and this is the equation for the first part of the equation number 7.41. Next, the energy convected in y direction. So in the similar manner that we have calculated for the first part, in the similar manner we can write that dE convection y direction, this is equals to E convection y minus E convection y plus dy. So if we do the similar steps in the y direction also for this energy convection, then ultimately we will be getting dE convection y, this is equals to minus rho Cp into V del T del y plus T del V del y multiplied by dx dy. So this is our equation number 7.43, where we have neglected the product of the smaller quantities. Next, for the third part of the equation 7.41, the heat conduction in the y direction. So this was the third part of the equation 7.41. So the heat conduction in the y direction, it can also be formulated in a similar manner. So E conduction y minus E conduction y plus dy. So here again after 3 or 4 steps we are getting that dE conduction y, that means the heat conduction in the y direction, this is equals to k del 2 T del y2 into dx dy. This is our equation number 7.44. Now comes the fourth term of the equation 7.41. So this is the viscous heat generation. Now due to the relative motion of the fluid in the boundary layer, fluid on the top face of the control volume moves faster than the fluid on the bottom face. In that case there will be viscous effects which will cause the heat generation. Now the viscous heat generation, it is actually the viscous force multiplied by the distance traveled by the viscous force. Now, this is equals to the shear stress multiplied by area upon which it acts, this whole multiplied by the distance traveled. So, this shear stress formula, tau, it can be written from the Newton's law of viscosity, that is mu du dy. The area upon which it acts, this is equals to dx multiplied by 1, and the distance traveled, so del u del y multiplied by dy. So finally the viscous heat generation we are getting here mu del u del y whole square multiplied by dx dy. This is our equation number 7.45. Now in the left hand side of the equation number 7.41 we had four different terms, and all those four different terms we have formulated their equation. Now if we put all the equations for the four different terms of the left hand side of equation number 7.41, then we will be getting ultimately the 7.46 after 3 or 4 steps and some rearrangement. Now from the continuity equation for two-dimensional flow, we can write that del u del x plus del v del y, this is equals to 0. So this is the continuity equation for any two-dimensional flow which is known to us. Now if we use this one in equation number 7.46, then it can be reduced as u del t del x plus v del t del y. This is equals to k by rho cp multiplied by del 2t del y2 plus mu by rho cp into del u del y whole square. This is our equation number 7.47. So this is our required differential energy equation for flow past a flat plate. So this is the final equation, final energy equation for a thermal boundary layer when the fluid is flowing over the flat plate. Now if the viscous heat generation, that is the fourth term in the left hand side of the equation, if it is neglected, when the value of capital U it is relatively low and difference of temperature between the free stream and the plate is small, it is of the order of 40 degree. So in that case, if we neglect the viscous heat generation, then the energy equation it is reduced to u del t del x plus v del t del y. This is equals to k by rho cp multiplied by del 2t del y2. Now this k by rho cp, that is the ratio of the thermal conductivity divided by heat capacity, this is actually known as thermal diffusivity, which is alpha. So the right hand side can again be written or represented as alpha multiplied by del 2t del y2. This is equals to 0. So in the left hand side there will be plus sign, not this equal sign. Now we have discussed the derivation of this final energy equation for the thermal boundary layer when the fluid is flowing past a flat plate. Now let us discuss the heat transfer coefficient for the local and average cases. Suppose the temperature distribution Txy in the thermal boundary layer it is known to us, then the heat flux Qx from the fluid to the wall it can be determined using the equation, that is Qx equals to K del T by del Y at Y equals to 0. Now here K is the thermal conductivity of the fluid. Now if in any engineering application it is not practical to use the equation number this one 6.10a to calculate the heat transfer rate between the fluid and the wall. So what happens in real life or in practice, a local heat transfer coefficient Hx, it is the local convective heat transfer coefficient Hx, is defined to calculate the heat flux between the fluid and the wall. So the equation is actually Qx equals to Hx multiplied by the temperature difference, it is a T alpha minus Tw. Now from these two different equations if we equate these two, we will be getting the value of the Hx. This is equals to K del T del Y at y equals to 0 divided by the temperature difference. Now this expression is now can be written in terms of the dimensionless temperature, that is theta xy, as Hx equals to K del theta xy by del y at y equals to 0. This equation, it provides the relation for the determination of the local heat transfer coefficient from the knowledge of dimensionless temperature distribution in the thermal boundary layer. Now this equation, it was the formula for the local heat transfer coefficient. Now if we want to find the average or mean heat transfer coefficient Hm, so in that case, over Hm over the distance x equals to 0 to x equals to L along the plate surface, it can be determined from Hm equals to 1 by L integration 0 to L Hx dx. So this is the formula for the average or mean heat transfer coefficient over the distance x equals to 0 to L. Now the heat transfer rate Q from the fluid to the wall from x equals to 0 to L, and for the width W, it can be written as Q equals to W L Hm multiplied by T alpha minus Tw. So this is the final equation for the heat transfer rate using the mean heat transfer or average heat transfer coefficient over the distance x equals to 0 to L. Now there is an example. So let us discuss that one. An appropriate expression for the temperature profile in the thermal layer. So it is given here, and the thickness of the thermal boundary layer delta T or delta Thx, it is given by the equation in terms of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. We need to develop an expression for the local heat transfer coefficient. So the theory part has been discussed just now. So the local heat transfer coefficient formula, it is actually Hx equals to K del theta xy by dy at y equals to 0. Now for the temperature profile given above, that is in the equation, the temperature profile is given. If we do this differentiation, then we will be getting del theta del y at y equals to 0. This is equals to 3 by 2 delta T, or that means the thermal boundary layer thickness, 2 delta Tx. So in that case, if we put this value in the equation of the local heat transfer coefficient, then we are getting the formula for the local heat transfer coefficient as 3k by 2 delta Tx. Now, as the formula for the delta Tx is given in terms of Reynolds number and Prandtl number, so if we put that formula in the equation of the local heat transfer coefficient, then we will be getting the formula of the local heat transfer coefficient as 0.331 k by x multiplied by Prandtl number to the power 1/3 and Reynolds number to the power half. So it can be again represented as in terms of Nusselt number, which is actually Hx by k. So in that case, the expression can be rearranged as 0.331 Prandtl number to the power 1/3 and Reynolds number to the power half. So here it is the Nusselt number, as it is written Nusselt number, the suffix is written as x. So this is the local Nusselt number. So the equation of the Nusselt number here, it has been represented in terms of the Prandtl number and Reynolds number. So such type of formula of the Nusselt number in terms of Prandtl number and Rayleigh's number, we will get some more types of formula of Nusselt number in the later lectures for different geometrical shape and for different types of flow. So all those different expression for the Nusselt number, it may be for local Nusselt number, it may be for average Nusselt number. So all those different formula of the Nusselt number, we need to remember to solve different numericals of this convection. So One more example or problem is given. The exact expression for the local Nusselt number for laminar flow along a flat plate is given by Nusselt number. This is equals to 0.332, Prandtl number to the power 1/3, and Reynolds number to the power half. Now we need to develop a relation for the average heat transfer coefficient Hx from x equals to 0 to L. So that means the notation will be ultimately Hm. Hx is the local heat transfer coefficient and Hm is the mean or average heat transfer coefficient. So some data are given here. Atmospheric air at T equals to 400 Kelvin with a velocity U equals to 1.5 meter per second flows over a flat plate. L equals to 2 meter long, maintained at a uniform temperature T equals to 300 Kelvin. And to calculate the average heat transfer coefficient Hm from T equals to 0 to x equals to L equals to 2 meter. And to calculate the heat transfer rate from the air stream to the plate from x equals to 0 to x equals to L equals to 2 for W equals to 0.5 meter. Now the average heat transfer coefficient, that is Hm from x equals to 0 to L, it can be determined by using the formula for the average heat transfer coefficient, that is 1 by L integration 0 to L Hx dx, as the representation of Hx is given here. So you can put that representation of Hx here, and ultimately after doing the integration we will be getting this representation as 2 multiplied by 0.332 k Prandtl number to the power 1/3 Reynolds number to the power half divided by L. So which is actually 2 multiplied by Hx where x equals to L. So that is the average heat transfer coefficient Hm from x equals to 0 to x equals to L. This is twice the value of the local heat transfer coefficient evaluated at x equals to L. So this is the physical significance of this equation. That is the average heat transfer coefficient. This is twice the value of the local heat transfer coefficient evaluated at x equals to L. Now the physical properties for the second part of this numerical. The physical properties of atmospheric air evaluated at the arithmetic average of the free stream and wall temperature 350 Kelvin are nu equals to 0.21 10 to the minus 4 meters square per second. Then K equals to 0.03, there is thermal conductivity 0.03 W per meter degree centigrade, and Prandtl number, this is equals to 0.697. So these are some default data that we have considered here. So in that case, L equals to, at L equals to 2 meter, we need to first calculate the value of Reynolds number here. Now the value of Reynolds number for this flat plate, the formula is equals to rho u L by mu. But here as the value of kinematic viscosity we have considered, then the representation can be written as u L by nu, that is in terms of kinematic viscosity, which is the ratio of dynamic viscosity by density. Now the value of u is actually given here, that is 1.5. Then the length of this flat plate, it is given as 2 meter. And the value of nu, that is the kinematic viscosity, it is given 0.21 10 to the minus 4 meters square per second. Now if we put all this value in the formula of the Reynolds number, then we are getting the Reynolds number value is 1.43 into 10 to the power 5. Now the mean or average heat transfer coefficient formula we have calculated just now. It is 2 multiplied by 0.332 k Prandtl number to the power 1/3 and Reynolds number to the power half divided by L. Now here the value of the thermal conductivity, it is known to us 0.003 watt per meter degree centigrade. The value of Prandtl number, it is also given, that is 0.697, and the value of Reynolds number we have just now calculated, that is 1.43 10 to the power 5. Now if we put all this value in this equation of the average heat transfer coefficient, then ultimately we are getting the value of the average heat transfer coefficient as 3.34 watt per meter square degree centigrade. So finally we need to calculate the heat transfer rate from the airstream to the plate. So the formula for the heat transfer rate, this has been discussed just now in this earlier slide. So the formula, this is actually Q equals to W, that is the width, WL/HM, that is the mean heat transfer coefficient, multiplied by the temperature difference. So the value of W, that is the width, this is given here as 0.5 meter. In the question it is written. Then the length of the plate, it is 2 meter given in the question. The average heat transfer coefficient HM, we have just now calculated 3.34, and the two different temperatures, it is the atmospheric temperature T alpha, this is given as 400 Kelvin, and the surface temperature of the flat plate, this is given as 300 Kelvin. So all the values of the different parameters used in the question of heat transfer rate, used in the equation of the heat transfer rate, this is given here. So after putting all these values, we have calculated the heat transfer rate from the airstream to the plate. This is as 334 watt. So this is the final result of the heat transfer rate from the airstream to the plate. So up to this we have calculated, up to this we have discussed today. So whatever we have discussed, that is based on the thermal boundary layer, which is analogous to the hydrodynamic boundary layer. There we have seen the value of the thermal boundary layer thickness. It depends upon the value of the Prandtl number, and there is a relation in between the thermal boundary layer thickness and the hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness, which is the thermal boundary layer thickness. It is the ratio of hydrodynamic velocity boundary layer divided by Prandtl number to the power 1/3. Now, after that, we have discussed the energy equation for this thermal boundary layer when the fluid is flowing over a flat plate. So, after this derivation of this energy equation, we have discussed the local heat transfer coefficient and the average heat transfer coefficient and their formula in terms of the Reynolds number and Prandtl number. So, based on these equations and the formula, we have discussed two different numericals. So this is the end for this lecture.